Can I tell you something? Because the church in Corinth was even worse. Because the church has some girls they call, what was it? Temple girls. In our today word, it would be temple prostitute in the church. When they made them woman to share with the priest in the church. In fact, at one time, the churches in Corinth, the temple in Corinth, had more than 1,000 temple girls. And there were people who were in the church saying it was right. And some said it was wrong, so the church started to be divided on that. Paul had to write them a letter to try to correct it. They were struggling with whether to conform to the environment or to stand for what God has called them. Surrounded by all kinds of corruption and inconceivable sin. They felt the pressure to adapt to the system of the world, and the church was being undermined and divided. And so Paul writes them to deal with some of these problems and gave the believer godly counsel. And in that counsel, the first thing he said, do not follow the pattern and the custom of this world.
Amen.
Let's look at this text, and that's what we have. Romans chapter 12, verse 2. I'm going to take it from the King James because that makes it a little bit good to preach. It said, and be not conformed to this world. And be not conformed. You see, it's not a good thing to start a sentence with the word and. Amen? Amen. Because and is a conjunction. It connects something. So if Paul is starting this sentence with and, it means the sentence that came before it, preceded it, also is connected. So before you cannot conform, you must give your body to God as a living sacrifice. That's the first thing. I don't care you get up and don't conform and your body has not been given to Christ, waste of time. You'll be bullet Christian. Hello, somebody? But there's a connection that our prophet and. In the first verse 1, Paul requests of us a decisive decision to be with God. To make a decisive commitment to be with God. If you want to be a Christian, be a Christian. If you want to be a deacon, be a deacon. If you want to be a choir member, be a choir member. If you want to be a preacher, be a preacher. He requests from us a decisive commitment. Now in verse 2, that's where the connection comes. He said, now if you have made the decision to be committed to God, then you have to maintain certain lifestyle. And verse 5, before you can even be unconformed, you must give your body to God. After you give your body to God, you think the devil is going to stop? No. The devil is going to keep fighting. And prophet, now that you are giving your body to God, to continue the relationship, you must be unconformed. And be not conformed to this world. This word conform from the Greek refers to an act of an individual that is being poured forth that does not come from within his inner heart. The acts of an individual that is poured forth that does not come from his inner heart or as a regenerated person of Christ. What are you saying, Reverend God? I'm saying to be unconformed, or the Greek word for conform means that what we are putting out is not what God has put in us. What we put out is a result of the world exerting pressure on us to conform to the pattern and lifestyle of this world. If you are a Christian, God has released within you something that should be reflected on the outside. If you are a Christian, you have to talk like a Christian. You have to act like a Christian. You have to dress like a Christian. You got to treat your neighbor as a Christian. And if you are a Christian and you're still gossiping and still prideful and still hate and still divisive and turning people around, then you are conforming to the pattern of this world. The world makes us to be conformed by putting pressure on us. Some of our friends put so much pressure on that we hate people who have done nothing to us. Hello, somebody. We got so much on. I've been pastor the church. Even in office, sometimes I feel that, Reverend, I can't do this because the people say I got money. You think I'm going to hold down my blessing for anybody who want to think or feel? No. The world makes us to conform by putting pressure on the outside, that what comes out of us is not what God has deposited within us. Be not conformed. Be not conformed. And when I started to look at the text, what came to my mind was the Hebrew text that we used in Genesis chapter 12. Hello, church. God called Abraham. He was not Abraham this time. God called Abraham. He said, leave your country. Leave your father's household. Leave your family. In other words, leave everything and go to somewhere where I will show you. When he said, be not conformed, he said, leave behind. What matters to you most? Leave it behind. Forget your family relationship, your father's household. Leave your country, leave your land. Some of our Liberia went through all kinds of mess in the world. We saw people die for land. They did all kinds of things for land. Now Liberia peaceful living, all of them running back there for land. Amen. Some of them dying for the land. I think it's land lawsuit that is the most lawsuit in Liberia. And God called Abraham, leave your land. Christian, when you are connected with God, God is telling you, leave it. As Christian, leave it behind. Leave the hate behind. Leave the cursing behind. Leave the trouble behind. Leave it and follow God. God is calling you from your earth. And the something said, leave all of this and go, and I will make of you a great nation. I will make your name great. Hello, church. When I read the verse in the mind is that individual blessing depends on individual obedience. If we jump right to Genesis chapter 2, we find God called Abraham. This time he Abraham now because God had blessed him with Isaac. God said, take your son. And I read the text, and the writer of this text kept carrying on gradual until he brings up to the emotional part. God said, leave.